Alright, good morning and welcome to this short presentation where I am going to show you the things you need to know about this new writing. Actually, it is a very simple task, so I'm going to show you directly what to do. Now, you are writing an original content of about 500 to 600 words, which should be free from plagiarism. If there is any plagiarism, it should be between 0% and 5%, and you can always check with this tool here. To be on the safe side, I think you should keep your plagiarism to be 100%, to be 0%. If there is any plagiarism that you notice, just go back to your work and rewrite that section, except for things that are obviously not plagiarism, because there are things and phrases, for instance, that you see online and the tool, like this tool, will take it as plagiarism, whereas it is not. So if it is such a situation, you don't have to waste your time trying to rewrite such a thing. But if you notice that it is actually picked from a site which is what I will be showing you, where you're taking the articles from, or a similar site that talks about the same thing, what you do is you rewrite that section of your work. Check again with this tool. This tool is free. Check again with this tool and get it to be 100% free, or at most 5%. Now, the work will have a brief introduction, then a body, and then a conclusion. And then you are to include relevant subheadings as specified in the parent article. Somehow, you may rewrite the subheadings in a way, yes, if it's going to help you deal with plagiarism, okay? But while rewriting the subheadings, take note of the keyword. Take note of the keyword. Don't rewrite the keyword in the subheadings. And then at the end, you will just include a few tags from the article. So this is just a brief overview of what you are to do. So I'm going to go online now and show you what to do. Now, let's say you have an article like this. Let me start with this one. 10 ways to get paid to listen to calls. Don't worry, I'm going to give you the site to go pick all these articles from. Everything that you're going to be writing is going to be coming from this site. So let's say I give you a topic like this, or you pick a topic like this: 10 ways to get paid to listen to calls in 2022. Now, first of all, I want you to take note of what is called the focus keyword. The focus keyword is get paid to listen to calls. Okay, get paid to listen to calls. Now, when you come to this site like this, you find out that somehow the articles are always very long. Okay, they're always very long, and the meat of the article is somewhere in the middle. So the whole of this is simply preambles and stories. Like you see, can I get paid to listen to calls is just an introductory section in the article, and then you take it all the way. But when you scroll down, you see that the main meat of the article is somewhere in the middle, where you find out the topic repeating itself again. For instance, here it says, how do I get paid to listen to calls? All right, this, you can see that there is one here. Why would a company pay you for listening to phone calls? Now, what you're going to focus on is you're going to focus on the meat of this article. Don't pay attention to this section yet. Just yet. You may even avoid the introduction. Why I'm saying so is that along the line you find out, yes, all of this is the introduction, but along the line you find out that this introduction alone is very long. Remember, you're not to write more than 600 words. In fact, even if you can keep it at 500 words only, it's okay. And if you can take it to 520, 530, around 600, it's okay. Why I'm saying so is that so that you will not say that you were stressed up. If you go and write too much, you are on your own. Just write it 500 to 600 words so that you can complete the number of articles per day and get paid fast. You understand? So don't really dwell too much in writing too many details. I will show you how to write it. So if you come to this page, for instance, you say that the main topic is 7 ways to get paid to listen to calls in 2022. As you scroll down, you see that this is where the real article starts. How do I get paid to listen to calls? Then this person now, okay, this is where, this is where the main article starts. Ways to get paid to listen to calls. So you see, we had 3 initial subheadings, this one, and this one, which are good, but since we are summarizing this article, actually what we are doing here is we are doing article summary. So you will focus on just the key points. So you write on ways. So this is actually where the meat of the article is. Ways to listen, to get paid to listen to calls. So this is where you now pick your points from. You see, it stops here. Now this is the meat of the article. What you're going to do is you copy the whole of this, then you open a new page and paste it there. Now you will remove this one that said related. You remove all these ones. Related, remove all these ones. See, also remove all those ones. Alright, so you see that if you check here, the whole of this is already 724 words. Now you are still going to retain the link, the external link to that is put on the site. Like this is the external link to where one can get this Amazon Mechanical Turk. Now this external link is different from the link of this site where you pick the article from. So that is what you use to differentiate the two. Now what you're going to do now is to summarize this article. This is already 724 words, which means you should summarize this article into about 350 words, because this is the main article. Okay, and when you have finished doing this, just summarize everything into about 350 words. Okay, or 400 words. Then that will remain about, let's say, 200 words. Assuming you want to write 600 words, which I will recommend you write 550 to 600 words, depending on the nature of the article. So you summarize the main points, the main work, into about 400, 450, or 500 words. And then the balance, which should be about 100 words or 150 words, is what you use to form your conclusion. Form your conclusion here. And your introduction. Your introduction will be here. Now, how do you get your introduction and the conclusion? How do you do that? You come back to the same article. You go here. You see that we have the whole of this here. So you summarize the whole of this, which was the introductory part, into about 50 to 70 words. Okay, just brief. Summarize everything here into about 50 to 70 words and use it as your introduction here. Okay, and then you come back to the same article, go to the end, you find where we have these other sections. What are the requirements of a telephone company, blah 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 blah, up to your final thoughts. You summarize this also into about 75 to 50 words, and that's how you have your conclusion. So in simple terms, you are actually summarizing a whole big article into a short one, and that's how you will arrive at the about 500, 550 or 600 word article that you write. So all these things that they are putting here, you don't really have to write all the details. You just look at it and pick what is the most important point. What is the most important point and pick it here. The same thing, pick it here, just pick the most important point and summarize each subheading. Then you put the link to the source as you have seen here. So that is for that example. Now let's say you pick another example. This one says 21 ways to get paid to draw online and offline in 2022. Now, you see that as you open this article, it doesn't have much introduction or initial subheadings. Rather, it gives you Okay, it does. It gives you all this, just like the other one. It gives you all this introductory section. So this is the meat of the article, because what does the article says? 21 ways to get paid to draw online and offline in 2022. So this is the meat. Ways to get paid to draw offline and online in 2022 is the meat of the article. So you copy this and summarize. Okay, then you summarize that. You see, even this one, the conclusion is just very short, and you can also pick something from the introductory part here to also add to your conclusion, because your conclusion should not be this short. It should be some at least 3 or at least 5 sentences, 5 short sentences, while your introduction should be at least 10 or 15 short sentences. So you pick just summarize their whole introduction, okay, which is the whole of where I am highlighting as your introduction, and then you use this as the main. That's why you should start with the meat of the article. That is where the main points are. Start with that, summarize that one facing to around 450 or 500 words, and then you summarize their introduction. The introduction and the conclusion should come last. Okay, your concentration should be on the meat of the article, which is where the main points are. I think it's the same thing with this other one. All the articles on this site are just too long. That what you have to do is just to use the format I have given you to write. So that is that. Now, when you are finished writing, you take the article and put in this tool and check for plagiarism. Now, okay, this is just the format: brief intro, body, and conclusion. Include relevant subheadings. So the subheadings, like in this case, for instance, should just be as they are. Okay, they should just be as they are. If they are long, you can rewrite. They don't miss out the key phrase. For instance, in this article, the key phrase is ways to get paid to listen to calls. So one of the subheadings should be, in fact, the subheading should just be what it is, while you try to include this, which I call the focus keyword, which is actually the focus keyword. Include this in the introduction. You can just include it once or twice in your introduction, and also repeat it again in the conclusion. So in all, you should have the keyword should come up about 5 to 6 times in the entire article. It should come up in the introduction, in the first line, or in the first paragraph of the introduction. Maybe come up again somewhere in the introduction. You can repeat it again. Then 1 or 2 of the subheadings should have it, and then you should mention it again in the body of the article, maybe once or twice, and then you should have it again in the conclusion, maybe once, so that when you add everything, it should be around 5 to 7 at most keywords, because this is a 500 to 600 word article. So the keyword should come up at least 5 to 7 times. It should not be more than that, because if it's more than that, it becomes too much. 5 to 7 times is okay. So that is just what it is. It's more or less an article summary work that you write. Then after you finish everything, you now include tags. So still using this example, this example, get paid to listen to calls will be a tag. Listen to calls will be a tag. Then all these ones here will be tags on their own. Then you look at any striking point, in your write-up, those frequently repeated words and phrases, and then include them as keyword. Now you should separate each of their keyword with a comma, and then you will include those tags. Just call it tags at the bottom of your this article, and then you list the keyword here. List, put another one, put and separate with comma, put another one and separate with comma, and then just like that. So that is exactly the format you are going to use to write. It's a very simple thing. It's summary, and I have showed you the format, the strategy that you will use, where you start from first, where you go after, what to do next, checking for plagiarism and everything. Now, before you send in your work, please check for grammar. use Grammarly and check for grammar. Make sure that everything is on point. Don't submit a work that is full of grammatical blunders. I will reject it. Don't submit a work that is full of typographical errors. I will reject it. Make sure that your work is free from plagiarism, free from grammatical blunders, free from typographical errors, and then stick to the format that I have given you. And if you do that, you will not have any issues. So that is it. I want to believe you understand what I'm saying. So go ahead and start work based on what I've showed you. Thank you.